So, let me tell you something that you should have already realized by now about this fucking show you're listening to. This shit is supposed to be for mature audiences. As in grown-ups, mentally mature. It's supposed to talk about adult subjects, an adult frame of mind. It's not fucking that at all. This is two emotionally regressed, broken half-wits pretending to offer insight on movies. All they really offer you is an endless sexual perversion and a laundry list of personal paraphilia issues. You can make your own choices in life, but you have to choose this as entertainment. You know you're better than this. You have to know you are better than listening to Cinema Psyops.
Disturbing, just wait, because there is a whole other dimension.
You know what your children are watching? Well, parents and psychologists are very concerned. Fair warning, though, there is some graphic violence in this, but we say that for you, not your kids. They've probably already seen it.
You have to know you are better than listening to Cinema Psyops.
I like gore. I love blood and guts and stuff, you know. It turns me on, you know, ever since I was a little kid. I love the feeling of being scared, you know.
Kids call them slasher or splatter movies, and they get together to watch them at gross out parties. The movies are extremely violent, sexually provocative, and have graphic displays of mutilation.
I see him with a friend, and we see who can keep their eyes open the longest.
Slumber Party Massacre. That was a classic. This guy just goes around killing people. That's the plot of all scary movies. C-I-A-E-M-A P-S-Y-O-B-S C-I-A-E-M-A P-S-Y-O-B-S
You have to know you are better than listening to Cinema Psyops.
Kids get the movies from the horror section. Most of the violent movies are rated R and aren't supposed to be seen unless you're 17 years old. Others are made directly on videotape and bypass the rating system altogether.
C-I-A-E-M-A P-S-Y-O-B-S C-I-A-E-M-A P-S-Y-O-B-S C-I-A-E-M-A P-S-Y-O-B-S
And welcome to the 345th consecutive week of Cinema Psyops. I'm your host, Cort, the guy blaring out at you like an air raid siren. Who knows what the fuck it is? Is it the end times of apocalypse that I'm summoning? Or is it just my co-host, Matt?
Sounds like you're sounding the alarm. Double targets here. Yeah.
To make a callback to the classic MST3K episode for, I think it was Ator, the fighting, no, not Ator, the fighting eagle, but one of the Ator movies. How much Keef do we have in this movie, Matt? Miles O'Keefe.
Miles O'Keefe. Miles, yeah.
We also have
Huge
a bow of
tracts of
Svensson
land.
in this. A bow of Svensson.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what any of that means. Fuck it.
One of the actors is named Bo Svensson. He was the guy who took over the role of Buford Pusser in Walking Tall, too.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good for him.
Yeah, they were mighty big shoes to fill for Joe Don Baker, and he had to pull them a lot tighter.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Fuck. I don't even know what to do with that.
Well, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to cover the Walking Tall movies at some point. It's another one of those like right-wing fantasy films.
Yeah. Although I don't know how right-wing, like the Rock one, then people don't get right-wing because he doesn't use a gun. And so like most right-wingers would be like, well, he's a fucking asshole because he's not using a gun.
They would also have a problem with the fact that he's not a white guy too.
Yeah, they would have been like, yeah, he can't be the law.
The Rock version is what they would call woke nowadays.
Yeah. The Rock version is way too liberal. It's another just Hollywood bastardizing and liberalizing everything.
As opposed to Mattei, who is bastardizing and liberalizing everything.
He's not liberalizing anything. He's just bastardizing.
He's bastardizing and oppressing everything.
Yeah, pretty much. Holy fuck.
All right, so this week I submit to you, Matt, that what we have is the motivational key point or plot point from Commando slammed into Rambo 2. Or Rambo First Blood Part 2.
Yeah, it's Rambo First Blood
Part 2, yeah.
Part 2, meets Commando.
Yeah, like it's pretty much what if Commando's kid got kidnapped and forced Commando on the Rambo First Blood Part 2 mission instead. Kind of.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, you're not wrong.
And like the terrorist organization or the international terrorist organization that was trying to force John Matrix to do his thing is kind of here as well. But it's basically just the Russians, I think.
It's just the Russians, but it's communists, for lack of a better word. So are Russians there, but then they're also Vietnamese. So it's just communists. It's communists versus the Rambo Part 2, First Blood Part 2 / fucking Commando.
There was a bunch of movies like this in the 80s where basically American culture obsessed with the fact that they didn't win Vietnam.
Yeah.
Having movies where they went back and corrected the wrongs that happened there in certain ways like this kind of horseshit.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of movies, a lot of everything. The reason I have MASH is because of Vietnam, you know? A lot of things throughout the 80s were very Asian specific because, until Desert Storm, it was the last place we had a war.
What I'm speaking of specifically is these fantasy war films like First Blood Part 2.
Yeah.
Like Missing in Action. And very much like this, where they want to go back and like make it look like we're going to win if we go back or some horse shit that they did in a lot of these films.
Do we know when this came out?
This one is 87, I think. Let me double check. I have it in my notes.
Is that before Desert Storm?
Yes.
Yeah, 87, because I always get lost in the dates on that one.
Yeah, no, Desert Storm was definitely after 90s hit, not...
Yeah, so, I mean, what you're seeing is, the last any kind of conflict America had ever been in were in the South Pacific. And that was the last time, like, American soldiers were on the ground. Other than that, it was just Soviets fighting in Afghanistan versus our proxies, while we fought in the Asian Pacific against Soviet proxies, so that, World War III didn't happen. So, and it turns out to bite everyone in the ass in the end. Okay,
are you done with the history lesson?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Jesus Christ, I thought I'd just enlighten you a little bit, motherfucker.
No, you just bored me and put me to sleep.
Whoa, I am so fucking sorry.
It's all right, I'm doomed to repeat it anyway.
Try to breathe. All right, well, you saved it with that incredibly great joke. Well done.
Anyway, back to this fucking movie that we don't want to fucking talk about. This,
no, of course not.
Now, I want to phrase this very specifically and very legally binding. Okay, Matt?
Yes. All right.
This is the last episode of this year covering a month of Mattei films.
So it sounds like you're going to do this to me again next year. And not even just to me, to us. It's not like you're not suffering too.
Okay, here, hang on. I have to be very careful how I phrase this. Dear audience and Matt Psyop, I regret to inform you that next year will be the final year that we can cover Mattei films.
There's only 1 month left of Mattei.
I have 4 more that I was able to locate and acquire. I officially acquired the last one as of checking on it just before we started recording tonight. So I have 4 more films. Now, this pretty much covers everything that's kind of readily available out there that you can get your hands on. Now, there are some other things that I may or may not have, but they're Nazi-sploitation films that Mattei has done, and there's like maybe 2 or 3 of them, and it wouldn't really do it. And I don't want to do a month of Nazi Nazi-sploitation flicks just to keep covering Mattei, so I'm putting a moratorium on that.
All right.
I mean, even if we spread them out, I don't think I want to cover Nazi-sploitation movies really anymore. You know, there'd have to be something else to them.
There's gotta be something different about it, you know?
Yeah, because like it's just basically like a rape fest in Nazi uniforms. It's not something I want to watch for the show anymore.
Yeah, no one should want that ever.
Right. I mean, it's not something people really want us to probably talk about even. So that next year is going to be pretty much the last one. I kind of have skimmed through them, and I think we're going to go out on a high note, just like we did with this movie for this year's coverage. This movie is a high note, I think, which is not saying a lot for Mattei.
No,
because it's still terrible, but at least it's the best of the lot that we've gotten. So we end on a high note.
Pretty much. Yeah, you're right.
And next year, the final 4 that we're going to cover is next year, whether it's March or May. I don't know when that's going to roll around or how the schedule is going to work out, but we have 4 more. So if society holds it together, and if Matt and I can hold it together for 1 more year, we'll have another month of Mattei next year.
Good luck. One of those two is breaking. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah. Well, before either of that happens, let's take the break now. We'll play the Legion Patreon ad. And this week we're going to have war protest songs or songs that make fun of Rambo.
Yeah, all that too.
Up first is the Dead Kennedys with Rambozo the Clown right after this.
This'll keep it quiet. Oh, hi there. I didn't see you. You caught me cutting a new show. I'm Bo Ransdell, and I'm one of the many creators you can find on Legion Podcasts. I said quiet! My fellow podcasters and I work hard to bring you the best in horror podcasting, but that comes at a cost.
Wouldst thou like to live deliciously?
Not that, but also yes. No, what I'm getting at is that there are server costs for good microphones and software for editing, all the things that make our shows, fun to listen to. And you can help. If you're enjoying the shows on legionpodcasts.com or in the Legion Network available on iTunes and Stitcher, just about anywhere you can download a podcast, really, you can help us out and get a little something for your trouble at patreon.com/Legion Podcasts. For just $2 a month, you get a pair of movie commentaries exclusive to Patreon, and for $5, you can also join us for a monthly screening of a movie. All of that available on patreon.com/Legion Podcasts. We appreciate it, and thank you for listening. Now, back to the cutting room.
If I let that go, I'm just going to let it go for the rest of the fucking song. And it's like 2 minutes and 24 seconds. And while I'd like to pad out this fucking show, I think we should also probably just get on with it. And I'd play the trailer if I actually pulled it out, but I didn't. So give me a minute.
I mean, I'm really mad at you right now. I was really getting into it.
The Dead Kennedys is addictive as shit, but not nearly as addictive as this trailer.
So you tell me then what I'm supposed to be doing here, Senator.
A mission for the State Department.
My mission is to get my son back.
That way. Go! Go! When the 5 days are up, I'm going to leave you to rot in Vietnam with your son.
I don't know the man who called my father. I don't want to know him. I hope you got sick.
Kill him.
Mission cancelled!
Exterminate him.
Daddy!
Okay, so that trailer was essentially a highlight reel with the title being flashed up, and every action sequence was in that highlight reel that I condensed down to that 1 minute-ish presentation of a trailer.
Oh man, it's too bad. A lot of that would have been clips for me. You know, you could have gotten anything in English around here.
Hey, you know what? I stole the Blu-ray. I don't know where it came in from. It was in whatever foreign language. This time, I don't even think it was in Italian, but we had subtitles that sort of kind of matched up, and I mean, it wouldn't have made the film any better if we had English, let's face it.
No, it just would mean would have had clips.
Yeah.
That's all that would have meant. It would not have made this any better.
The subtitles actually forced me to pay attention to what was happening on screen more, and it was like kind of irritating that they did.
Yeah, I didn't want to have to pay attention to this movie. I was hoping to clip it out, and that just didn't happen for me.
Well, some more good news for you for next year's Mattei. The bulk of the films are definitely in English. I know for a fact that 3 of the 4 are.
Oh, well, super. Anyway, careful what you wish for, I guess. All right, Double Target. The first 20 minutes. To start out, we're in Hong Kong. It's 9:30 in the morning. We know this because the movie tells us. Thanks, movie.
2 different ways.
Some dudes are in an ambulance. They show up at the hospital. All 3 are actually armed. They kill some guards and some guy who was in there for some procedure. Then we're at the American consulate in Malaysia. It's 8:30 p.m. We know. Again, the movie tells us. A car busts through the barricades and guard stations. It is a car bomb. It drives itself into the building and explodes. Then we're at the military base. It's 10:30 p.m. Again, we know it. Why? Because the movie told us. There you go. Keeping up. Good job. Anyway, we have some guys. They're running around. They're running out of a restaurant. A woman's like, hey, you left behind one of your bags, and the entire restaurant blows up. We get all the news reports of all these attacks happening, and terrorist attacks. And then we cut to a dude. He's watching the TV, and I'm telling you, this guy's got some main character vibes. And we find out his name's Ross, and yes, he will be our main character.
How much Keith was in this film, Matt?
A lot of Keith.
Like miles of it?
Miles of Keith in this, miles of Keith. As I said, his name's Ross. As he's leaving, some dudes follow him. He meets with, I'm going to assume, the Vietnam consulate. He's trying to get into Vietnam. He shows certifications and all that, certificates and all that, but they don't recognize the marriage to his Vietnamese wife because it only happened in a military base and not part of their customs. He's like, so if you got married according to our customs, then you get in. He's also trying to get in to find his son. He goes, well, his wife was killed in a concentration camp. This causes this guy to get all defensive because he's like, it wasn't a concentration camp, and he gets all fucking weird.
Weird how people who run concentration camps get real upset when you call them concentration camps.
It is, really. I mean, isn't it? They're re-education camps, usually, and that's fucking the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Or location or fixation or whatever they call them when they're moving them to another location, but they're just, camps with concentration.
Yeah, that too. I wouldn't suggest going to one.
Yeah, avoid at all costs.
Yeah. So anyway, they're dudes, they're watching a video of Ross arguing with this guy, and they're like, hey, this guy seems to be a major, asshole, tough guy. And so anyway, the other guy gets a phone call, and he goes, hey, we may have a way for you to get out of this. And they put Ross in a room. It's a dark room where only one light shining on him. As he walks forward towards the man who's sitting by the light, another dude shows up and has a karate chop ready for him. However, Ross says, fuck this dude, and he fucks him up and then leaves. As he's running out of the building, he's constantly whooping everyone's ass that's in that building. He gets out. A couple guys who are following him are like, holy shit, and there's more fighting. Ross then, he jumps out of the building. A bunch of dudes are chasing him. 2 cars then pin him down, and he has to hide in a building. As he hides, there's a lot of that sneaky shit, and he's killing guys or karate chopping them and shit like that. And then he opens up the door to get out, and there's a helicopter there. Then they blow up a bunch of the bad dudes to tell him to jump in, so he does, and then he takes a gun and shoots the rest of the guys, and he blows them all away. Well, they land at a special forces base, and they call him Double Target, and so we got the name of the movie. So, hey, it's early, and we already got the name of the movie in the movie, and I'm so happy.
I am so not even going to add anything because I got nothing.
It's the only thing that makes me please.
The only thing the movie does right for you.
Yes, exactly. Ross meets a general friend of his and then a senator who is that Donald Pleasance, by the way?
Yes, it's Donald Pleasance, but his voice was dubbed in our dub, yes.
Yes.
You heard him in the trailer being like this high-pitched weird stuff.
I was like, looking at him, I'm like, that's him, but he's got a bad asthma problem, sweating all the time. He's a fucking idiot.
Also smokes a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
This is the Rambo shit.
Yes. They then look at, he gives them a file, says, hey, do you recognize these guys? It's the two guys who were talking to him in that one room. Says, yeah, and he goes, they're Russians, and they're very active in Afghanistan. Well, Ross is here to get his son, but they want him for a mission as well. The senator doesn't think he's actually right for it, but the general says, listen, we'll help you get your son, but then you have to help us first. And that ends the first 20 minutes.
So here's where the commando thing comes in.
Yeah.
He's doing this to go save his child, but also they're getting him into Vietnam so he can actually go get his kid too.
Yeah.
At the same time. And he's basically going to then tool up like he's Sylvester Stallone in Rambo First Blood Part 2. But also...
Yes, to all of this.
But also he will then tool up again on top of that as if he is the guy in Commando whenever he hits the island and tools up after robbing the Army Navy store that had like explosives and shit that it should not have had possession of.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit going on in this, man. This has depth.
What I'm kind of getting at here is like the ridiculousness of both the films of Rambo First Blood Part 2 and Commando are mixed together in a horrid daiquiri that has way too much coconut in it, but you can kind of represent and just like drink the alcohol through your teeth and filter out the rest of the daiquiri, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I gotcha.
Like if you can just tolerate the fact that like it doesn't quite line up all of the motivations because it's a Vergasso script very clearly with Rosa Drudia or whatever her name is that works with them.
Yeah.
Ross said,
pretty much.
Yeah. It's just, no. God, it's just terrible. All of it is just dumb.
It's all bad all the time.
So he's already met the Russians. He already met the main two baddies who tried to recruit him for the same thing. But then Donald Pleasance, who happens to be an American senator, offers him that. Plus, we'll get you into the United States and we can help you get your kid, naturalized or whatever it is, or making him a citizen, right? Like they were kind of offering all of that.
Yes.
If I remember correctly. So,
this is very correct.
So basically the only thing the Russians couldn't really offer him was like citizenship in the United States. And that's the only reason
ticket right to home.
Yeah. Because, I mean, like, he could have just taken the deal with the Russians and just, like, fucking bogged out on them and just fucking...
But you don't understand. He is a hero. He would never do that with the evil communists.
But if you double-cross them, all you're really doing is using them to get past the point that you need, which I think if you're a guerrilla warfare guy, you would do something like that.
How dare you, sir? That's a coward's way out. I won't take this un-American talk.
I just don't.
Anyway,
I just don't get the reasons why the character makes the decisions that he makes. You'd think that he would take the first in on the country he could get.
I don't think this is for us to get. We weren't put on this planet to get it, Cort.
Mr. Burton, you were not put on this planet to understand Mattei films.
You were put on this planet to get it.
All right, let's just move on. You win this round. Let's just move on. If I'm already questioning the reality that is this film, I'm in
you've
trouble.
already lost.
Yeah, because it's only going to get more outrageous and stupid from here.
Pretty much. The next 20 starts. Ross's mission is to determine if the two Russians are responsible for the recent terror attack. The senator threatens that if he's not done in 5 days, he will leave Ross and his son behind to rot in Vietnam, and he will not care. Then we get a nice little montage of Ross arming up. He launches himself out of a submarine. As he's swimming, he gets caught by two dudes on a boat. Just as a shark shows up, knocks the boat, kills and eats the two guys who are in the boat. As he's trying to swim away, the shark comes back, so he launches an underwater missile, blowing it up. Yeah, that's right. An underwater missile fired from what appears to be a handgun, and it blows it up.
Yeah, so now we have a little bit of Escape from New York going on, I guess.
Yeah. Something like that. It's all bad.
Little James Bond where he gets like this special government tool.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, but it's still just the weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen because it's an underwater missile. So fired from a handgun.
Yeah.
That
appears to be heat-seeking in some way.
Yeah, I just don't. Okay, I'm going to stop trying to figure it out because or else I'm going to fall into this same trap that you're in right now.
I already fell into it, and I'm already questioning shit, and I'm already just kind of like, this is just a bunch of bullshit. And you bringing up this pistol thing, like, I'm still bugged about all the stuff about him not taking the first deal to get him into the country to get his kid.
Yeah, I'm just, damn it. Fuck, now I'm in it. Shit. All right.
It's too late for us, audience. You can bail
Too
on
late.
us.
Everyone else, turn around and run. Go back.
Stop trying to make this thing make sense, audience. Just go with it.
Yeah, just get out of here, people. Save yourselves. So anyway, then he's in the jungle and he's kind of just walking around and there's a ton of people surrounding him. And then all of a sudden, we see someone shoots at his feet. Well, he shoots at a cobra at the feet and this guy's in the tree. His name's Toro and he's Ross's contact. Then they come up to a small village. And Ross gets to meet his son there. He tells them they'll go home after he's done with this mission. He gives them a picture of Ross and his mother together. When he leaves, the kid takes a pic, tears the piece with Ross on it off and throws it, but keeps the part with his mom. Then the group does some more walking because they're on their mission, and they come up on a group of soldiers. They kill them and take their uniforms. Then we cut back to the kid. He's in the village staring at a picture of his mom. Toro and Ross, they drive to a army base, a Russian base. The senator is in his office. They're listening to all this stuff, but they apparently have not heard from Ross in 2 days. The two BS their way onto the base. Toro, starts just saying yet all the time, and he's like, I don't even speak Russian, but I bullshitted my way through that. Ross then he gets into an office, knocks two guys out, starts checking some documents. Toro, he keeps getting bothered by some Russian dude, so he has to knock him out. He runs inside and he tells them Ross they have to arm up because a whole nother battalion just showed up. When they open up the door, there's the whole battalion with the main bad guy Russian. They get into a motorcycle and that has a side cart and they take off, blowing shit up as they leave.
They great escape it.
Yeah. The two escape as the army starts looking for them but can't find them. That ends that 20 minutes.
All right, so this movie does move along at quite a pace, and there's a lot of great action. And when
sometimes, and then it goes to a fucking snail's pace.
Right, but the moments that it has the action are like hardcore action, and they just really fucking go for it.
Listen, man, a lot of shit was blown up in this movie.
Right.
I will fully admit, and a lot of different shit was blown up. So it wasn't like just the same shit blown up, and they put it in different scenes. That's a lot of different shit they blew up.
The problem is that when it does crawl down to a snail's crawl, and whenever it actually slows down and stops, it's because of these sequences and them filming it so fast and frenetic and editing it so fast and frenetic that he still needs to deliver like a 90-minute film.
Yeah.
So he ends up not having enough footage of what he actually needs to fill the time. So then we get these longer scenes of them just sitting around doing nothing because the sequences were way shorter than what they were expecting them to be, I guess, once they get them edited to look this great. So maybe there's a bunch of blown action that they had to cut down, or maybe this is just sequences they stole from other movies because Mattei's good at doing that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You could have had maybe just an hour and 15-minute long movie and just with more explosions. And I would have been fine.
Yeah, my biggest problem with this is every story point makes absolutely no sense, and every decision our hero makes absolutely no sense, and yet somehow he remains alive and everyone around him dies to the point where a character calls him out on that.
Welcome to March Mattei.
The script knowingly says something that the audience is like, this is not a hero. He's letting all these people die around him.
But he's not letting anybody die. They just happen to die.
Anyway.
It just happens.
Right. Anyway, I'm already fucking frustrated as shit with this movie. But there are some really great action sequences, but there are some serious doldrums too. And that's the weird thing is it's so frenetically paced, it's rushing to get to the part where it can just stop at a snail's crawl.
Hurry up and wait. Yeah. Hurry up and wait.
Well, that's very much military action, so.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Everything's an emergency until it's not. So, all right. So then the next 20 minutes start off. Choppers appear over the small village. Soldiers round up all the villagers. We see the soldiers torture a villager to tell him which one's Ross's son. They won't tell him, so they kill one of the villagers. Then we see Toro and Ross are walking through the forest. He grabs some bananas. It triggers it triggers a booby trap that Ross saves him from. So, I mean, hey, listen, he helped someone not die there.
Just for a brief second, only because he still needs them.
Yeah, sorry. And then, before another villager is killed by one of the men, Ross's son steps up and says that he's the son, but he doesn't really know his father and all, and he hopes the soldiers actually catch him. And then, Toro and Ross there come up to the village and they see that the troopers kill a man who tries to run out of one of the places, and they're like, oh my god, the village has been taken. And he goes, hey, why don't we go and fuck some shit up? So they did. They get down there, they start blowing a shit ton of shit up.
I would just like to point out that this used to be a village that the military just took over, so he is blowing up these people's homes.
Yeah, and then Toro squares off against a guy and kicks his ass and saves all the villagers and has them get out of there, and he grabs Ross's son. They get everyone reunited.
And it feels so good.
Yes, right? The bad guys, they start mobilizing to find Ross. They start mobilizing and they find out that Ross has his son back. They track them, but they're able to give the troopers the slip at night. The troopers are going to head back to base and they'll try again in the morning. The next day, they're walking through a field and Toro gets hit with a landmine, severely injuring his arm. He
stepped on a landmine or something. It was weird.
Yeah. They're in a minefield. He tells Ross and his son to get the hell out of there and to leave him behind. So they do. We see troops then walking towards Toro, and he calls out to him saying he's injured, gets their attention. As they all start walking to the field, all the mines blow up everybody except for one of the guys, one of the soldiers, who then he wants to shoot Toro. But Toro grabs 2 grenades, throws it onto a mine right where that guy is, and it blows them both up, and they die. And that's the end of that 20 minutes.
Emotionally, I'm still not ready to deal with this being the 60-minute mark.
Yeah, I'm not either. I wasn't emotionally ready that when I got down to the 60-minute mark, I had over 40 minutes left.
Yeah, this is where the dread really started to set in my life, where I'm like, holy fuck, why does it need to be an hour and 40 minutes?
And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, what did I ever do to deserve this? And then I thought, number 2, how much more of this story do we have to be able to tell? I mean, we got to be coming up to the end.
Right. Like, I'm thinking the exact same things, and I'm kind of dreading it, where I'm like, oh no, we're going to meander. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Mattei's going to, the meandering Mattei is about to set in. Oh, fuck.
He's got to, because, I mean, fuck. It's coming.
Yeah,
You've gone so quick.
It's like, oh, Jesus, we've gotten to the end, and now we need to wander around the jungle for 50 minutes for no reason.
Because, Mattei, there's a story here, and we just aren't seeing it.
Yeah. The hour mark is a false hope, because then you realize you still have close to an hour left. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awful. Oh, God.
And it makes you sad.
I did. I wept a little inside. I had to take a break and just come back and finish it later. I was like, I don't want to do this.
I got mad and I threw stuff. It wasn't great.
I mean, it was actually saved by the fact that I had to read subtitles. Otherwise, I would have just checked out and fallen asleep.
Yeah, I'd be doing this review and you'd be like, oh yeah, I totally saw that part. Fuck.
No, I would go back and finish the parts that I missed, but my body would keep putting me out. I've had that happen before with a Mattei film. Seriously, there are some movies that are so bad that I just go unconscious for no reason watching them.
I don't blame you. I'm the same way. Just no, I'm dead. All right, we're going to go to the next 20. Ross and his son, they meet a woman who's their next contact. She asks about Toro, and they're like, well, unfortunately, he's dead. Well, her dad will boat the 2 of them out of there. So then we cut back to the senator telling the General Ross telling the general that Ross only has 7 more hours. Then we see a fisherman shows up to tell the soldier bad guys all the shit that's going on right now. The group then stops for food. There's this tense moment where they're all eating. On the other side of this bench are a bunch of other, what is supposed to be fishermen. And Ross draws something, and he looks, and they all have combat boots on. So they're all actually soldiers. They're set up. So he sends the other 2 away, his son and the lady who were eating there, to go check something out. And then he tucks a grenade underneath the underneath the table. And then he, makes fun of himself. He's like, how do I open up this coconut? He asking him, and he's like, with this machete. He goes, yeah, I'm just a dumb American. They're like, yeah, you're an idiot American. And he goes, can you do it for me? They go, sure. And he walks away. They put it on the table. They hit it, and it blows everything up. Just then, a ton of soldiers show up, start shooting everything. They kill the dad who was driving the boat. And everyone else had to run away. Lots of shooting, lots of more blowing shit up. Ross gets away. He meets up with the lady and his son. They start running, and they get the fuck out of there. Back at headquarters, the senator's delighted, and when he's told there's no word from Double Target yet, so he's actually pretty pleased. At nighttime, the troopers are looking for the three. Ross fights one, kills him. The other soldiers find that dead soldier's body, and they decide to split up. While hiding, the three get a ton of spiders crawling all over them, and and they have to remain still, and it's one of those tense moments.
Jungle exploitation.
Yeah. And, they're able to be quiet enough, and the soldiers pass. They got the spiders off of them. And they were able to escape. Then at one point, the senator gets on the mic, and he cancels the mission. So he says there's just no more mission going on. Then the group, they come to a river, where on the other side of it is going to be their contact. However, they have to wait till night because, they can't do it by the morning. The general then confronts the senator, and really comes down to America doesn't want anything that Ross finds here to be known, and they only want a reason for a cover-up. So it's like Ross is supposed to do all this shit to cover shit up.
I guess, yeah.
I guess I didn't really understand any of what their fucking plan was. It seemed like the dumbest thing ever.
To me, it seems like Ross is doing exactly what Ross wanted, where he went into the country and he got his kid, and everybody else is pursuing him.
Yeah, everyone else is getting in his way.
Yeah, he's not really doing anything mission-wise other than blowing shit up when people come across him. He's being hunted. That's it.
Yep. No, you're not wrong at all.
There is no mission being accomplished by him at all, and I have no idea what Donald Pleasance is even talking about.
Except for the only time he ever did any mission stuff is when he went to that army base, right after they got to the little village, and he looked through some files. After that, it's all fucked.
Yeah, he just looked through some files. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Right, what has he... the movie has not shown me him accomplishing anything.
Yeah.
Mission-wise. Nothing.
You're not wrong. That night, the group gets to where their contact lives, and they're kind of just hanging out with their contact. Then we cut back to the center explaining that even if Ross succeeded, they would hide the evidence to avoid World War III because they don't want people knowing that Russia is funding terrorists or something. Again, it makes no bloody fucking sense.
Although, if you know how Russia works, it makes perfect sense.
Oh, that's sad. That's sad that you're so fucking correct on that. So anyway, here.
It's really weird. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like something Russian would do, even though it's completely ridiculous.
Yeah, well, because they started doing completely ridiculous shit now. So that doesn't help.
Not at all. No.
Not at all. All right. So anyway, then Ross calls in, and the general's pretty excited. Says they're going to get some people out there for him, and they'll pick him up. However, the bad guys, they pick up this transmission, and so they know where they are. The young lady who's with them has a heart-to-heart with his son about some different shit, and while he sleeps, Ross asks if she would like to come back to America with them, because, the kid likes her, doesn't really like him, and that ends that, and we're going into the final 20 minutes.
Are we really an hour and 20 minutes into this movie already?
Yes, we are. And in fact, when I go into the final 20, this might have been like an hour 15, which is a good stopping off point, so it might be more like 25 minutes left in this movie. Yeah. But, I don't know what else to say. I can tell you what's in this movie. Again, it's hard to pull any meaning out of this, because there is none. The story in itself makes zero fucking sense. I don't know what else to tell you other than what's happening in this movie.
Okay, so he meets the contact, gets the contact's father killed.
Yes.
The contact falls in love with him.
And then they go to another contact's house.
Right. The contact falls in love with him, takes him to another contact's house.
We don't know if they're in love.
She changes in front of him. She's coming on to him at this point.
Jesus.
And then that boat ride conversation that they have is like kind of reminiscent of them like comparing battle scars, like what happens in First Blood Part 2, where his contact and him sort of fall in love. So they're mimicking that very clearly.
Yeah.
This whole entire time. Like, I mean, if you've seen Rambo First Blood Part 2, that's the sequence where they're on the boat. That's what's going on, is he's sort of like, you know, winning her over and she's winning him over, and they're comparing battle scars and talking about how horrible life is and blah, blah, blah. And then the horrible thing happens where her father dies. So they kind of do the thing where his contact dies and drives him forward to go and kill all of the guys that run the POW camp or whatever he ends up doing.
Yeah.
I can't really fucking remember. But in this case, it's her father dying and then they just run.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Then they run to this other guy's house, which as soon as they know by finding the bodies who it is that they've already killed, they can start searching for the known contacts and then find them very easily. So this is an extremely stupid move.
Yeah. And again, here's how bad this movie is. Cort, you just had to go over all the shit I just said.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to do is like lay it out for you and show you just how stupid it really is.
I mean, I believe you, man. I think it's also stupid.
Right, like you're just telling people what happened. I'm trying to say what this movie is trying to give us.
Okay, now I get what you're doing.
What the movie is trying to say they did, right?
Yeah.
Okay, they went to a house that is supposed to be the contact that this girl's father knew, right?
Yeah.
They left the father's corpse there on the dock, right? Yeah. Did they not?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that was in his boat. That was just some other rowboat.
I know, but they left the father's boat's there. The father is there. They can get an identification of the father in some way, shape, or form. There's got to be some kind of identification on the boat even. Once they know who the father is, they're going to know who his fucking contacts are because he works in the fucking underground. And what are they going to do? They're going to go to the very first contact that they find, which is probably the house. And that's why they find him so fucking quick. Spoiler alert.
That, and they also heard his communications. So
right, but I mean, as far as the plans go, like that they're trying to do, even though like they intercept his communications, they still would have found them extremely quickly.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong.
Because it's the fucking Russian military. Of course, they can shake down a couple of locals to say who is this guy and, you know, get contact names and things like that. They could find a way to shake down the underworld to get that info. You know, the underworld doesn't give a fuck. They just want to be left to their own devices.
Jesus Christ.
Regardless, they take the even dumber route, right? Wouldn't it have been better to see the military doing that? Just menacing some people until they got information?
Something like that, yeah.
That's a better fucking story I just came up with in my head to try and make sense of what's going on with this movie.
I mean, can we have any story, actually? Because I still don't feel like we've even gotten one story out of this.
No, clearly the story that I thought was there, I made up on my own because I was fucking bored. Let's move on.
Yeah, congratulations. You just made up your own story for this movie.
Jesus.
Which is still 10 times more entertaining than what was actually put in front of us.
Yeah, I must have, I made some shit up in my head that obviously didn't fucking happen. Jesus fucking Christ. I was dozing off or something.
All right, the final 20.
Everybody's very grateful of this.
Yeah, I know, right? Jesus Christ. Our shortest shows ever are going to be this month's March Mattei.
Possibly, yes.
So anyway, the troops get there. Ross wakes up. Mary, the lady, says, hey, we gotta get out of here. There's a lot of shootout and death. The lady who lives there, she takes one of the big guns, starts blowing a ton of soldiers away, tells the other three to escape. They do so, they get into a Jeep, and they get the fuck out of there, and they're able to escape a lot of the horse shit. The next day, they're working on the Jeep, and choppers show up, so they have to get in and drive away. One chopper drops a bomb and it blows the Jeep up, but the three are able to escape it before it blows up. The son gets Ross's gun and actually holds him at gunpoint while the rest of the bad guys get there and surround him. That night, the main bad guy at the camp has the boy read a statement that Ross will be killed for his crimes right now. They then give the son a gun and want him to do it, but he cannot and says no. The main bad guy takes the gun and goes, it's easy, and you point it and he pulls the trigger and there's no ammo in it. He says the real execution's tomorrow because they have special guests coming in. Then later on that night, Ross and Mary, they're in a cage and a guy's giving them shit. He gets murdered by the son who frees them. Ross sends those two away, and he's gonna finish some business, he says. He blows up almost all the fucking buildings. More explosions. Then one of the main bad guys, who knows all the karate and martial arts, Ross blows him up. Then the next day, Ross is kind of walking through the forest. Chopper shows up. The main bad guys on the choppers. This part takes a while, and it's a lot of padding where they are bombing all around him, and they keep missing him.
Yeah, them hiding in the foliage and them looking for him, and it's terrible. It's so fucking lame.
Then finally, one copter lands, and he blows that fucking shit up. As the main bad guys on the copter looking, they see a man down in the field, so they go check on him. It's one of their guys. He's tied up, has a note in his mouth. I don't know what any of that means, that note, so fuck me for not knowing Russian, apparently.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense either.
Yeah. So anyway, they get back on the chopper. Well, Ross is there. Ross and this guy fight as the chopper's flying around. Ross dumps the guy into the water. Pilot too. Then he takes the chopper. He lands, and the lady and the son come out from where they were hiding. And as they're very happy, but then a guy shoots and hits the lady in the stomach. Ross kills the guy. The lady's still alive, so Ross is able to get her and his son into the chopper. They call HQ. Everyone freaks out and is happy, except for the senator, who gets ready to leave. He's all fucking nervous as, Ross is calling him out. Everyone's happy. Roll credits.
All right, so even in the review, I was lost as to where we are and what was going on in the film. But yeah, I mean, this film just blurs together. You had it written down. That's how you knew.
Yeah.
But he just blows shit up, or he's either blowing shit up, or he's just kind of hiding somewhere amongst the foliage, or he's dealing with his friend who's about to die, who he just met, who somehow he's now brothers in arms and best friends with.
Yeah. That Toro guy. They were best bros because they met 48 hours beforehand.
Right, I watched this pretty early yesterday, and I barely remember a fucking thing as you're going over it. I'm like, that happened?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I mean, like I said, if I didn't have it written down, and doing the notes was already impossible. Because you're trying to keep up with all this fucking, whatever this story is, and it's just massively confusing.
Oh, it's a fucking huge nightmare of a mess. It's all over the place. I feel like we're missing stuff.
How can you have too much story, yet no story at all?
Yeah, there's so much going on, but it's also just a bunch of left open loose ends. It's just a hodgepodge of scenes where they're just throwing things at you that are supposed to sort of be vaguely military. It's like a child's idea of how a military action takes place is the way it's written.
Pretty much, yeah, that's exactly right. It's the game we played when you were 9-year-old kids with your friends and you're playing Army or some shit like that.
Yeah, and you would just frenetically jump from moment to moment from it's supposed to be part of the mission, and yet you never have a mission. You can't say what the mission is. You're just blowing shit up.
Yeah, you're just blowing shit up, and that's all you're doing. And I'm just like, the fuck.
Yeah,
what are we doing right here?
And then you get tired, so you sit around for ever and try to catch your breath.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening in the movie. The movie just sits around and wants to catch his breath. That's exactly a great way to frame this film. If you're going to watch this film, it's like watching a kid trying to play Army for an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Just go, you remember when you were a kid and you ran around and you made guns out of sticks and you're like, oh, now that blew up. Now this blows up. Now that blows up. Now somehow we're in a helicopter. Now somehow we're at another base.
Well, like I said in Robo War, and I'm going to say here for this review, and this is the last that I literally have because I give zero fucks about this movie and we've already talked about it too long.
Yeah.
If you fast forward to the action parts with all the explosions and the gunfire and all of the various battles and the actual physical fights in this are actually pretty decent too, whenever they're throwing down with fisticuffs and kicks and all of that ninjutsu horse shit that they try to pull. I mean, that stuff is decent too. So if you fast forward to the action, there's stuff to enjoy in this film.
It's true. It's not too bad.
Yeah. But I would say if you fast forward to it, because if you sit through this entire thing as we did, you just won't remember a fucking thing. But if you fast forward to just the action stuff, I do remember being very cool.
Yeah. They, like I said, they really spent money on the action. The explosions, they're all different buildings. Now, they could have also stolen this footage. Whatever. but
the helicopter shit is definitely like there's some stuff that they definitely shot with the helicopters because it's got the main actors in the helicopters. I mean, they spent some money on this fucking movie. It's just still a fucking confusing mess.
Yeah, no, I totally agree on that. Fuck. What are we doing here?
Why don't we just fucking do a news segment and fucking call it a day?
You know, I'm with you on that. Fucking exhausted.
All right, well, hopefully this will pump you up. We're going to have L7 with Wargasm. That one go longer because of the line, wave those flags high in the air as long as it takes place over there. As much as it resonated back then when Wargasm was released, it resonates even more so today.
There you go.
Almost made myself lose it there for a second because that was a little too sad even for me. So cheer us all up and give me some PSYOP news!
Comes from Alan.
Oh, that must be Chef Al.
Newsweek. World shooting champion died after accidentally shooting himself during hunting trip.
Wait, what?
I could read that again if you would like.
Shoot some fucking ropes. Shooting a fucking hot load all over this dog.
That's the only shooting I have, thankfully.
Of course. World shooting champion.
Shooting champion, so someone who should know how to handle a gun.
Yeah, died after accidentally shooting himself during hunting trip.
Okay, I can see where that happens. He falls or something like that takes place. But
let's find out.
It just goes to show you, though, like even when you are trained for gun safety,
perfectly,
accidents can still happen and do.
Yeah, exactly. The world shooting junior champion died in a freak accident after he accidentally shot himself Thursday while on a hiking trip with friends. Well, if it's not a hunting trip and just a hiking trip, why do you have a gun?
In case you encounter coyote or wildlife, depending upon where you're hunting, that might be dangerous while you're hiking.
Oh, man, this got sadder because he's young. Christian Gilly, 19, was an Italian world junior skeet clay pigeon shooting champion who finished third in the World Cup event in Peru and gold at the European Championships. Just in October, Gilly was crowned world champion of the sport. But tragically, Gilly reportedly shot himself in the stomach while on a hiking trip with friends and later died in the hospital. Gilly and his friends were hiking in the Monte Cantini Val di Siena in Pisa, Italy, when the accident occurred. The Mirror reported that his gun accidentally fired a round into his stomach while he was picking up a few used cartridges. His friends immediately called for help, and Gilly was rushed to a nearby hospital where he was immediately operated on in an attempt to stop internal bleeding. Fortunately, he died shortly after on Thursday evening when doctors were unable to stop the bleeding.
Okay, so he was bending down to pick up some used cartridges and somehow shot himself in the stomach?
Yeah, I guess. And
that sounds what they were kind of describing.
Should make sure the safety's on.
Yeah, or maybe
that's
just
something he did not do.
Make sure the breech is cleared. Like, don't lean down to pick shit up, or keep your finger away from the trigger, or put the safety on. What the fuck did he not do? Right? Like, where is the fuck up? That's what they need to stress. You know?
Yeah. God, this one kind of bums me out.
Like, there's any news in this world that's not going to bum us out these days.
Yeah. All right. And let's see. Last October, the young skeet player was crowned world champion in teams and in the mixed team, accompanying the gold with a third individual place in the World Cup in Lima, Peru. Says the president of the Italian Shooting Federation, Luciano Rossi. In May 2021, he had won gold in the individual team and mixed team competition, the European Championship in Osijek in Croatia. With respect, silence condolences in the face of a tragedy that leaves everyone upset. May the earth be light to you, Christian. Accidental shootings are one of the most common causes of death and kill nearly 500 people in the United States every year, according to the Educational Fund to Stop Gun Violence.
I'd rather it be accidental than intentional, mostly.
Yeah. In one study, researchers found that nearly 14% of unintentional gun deaths occur while hunting, while 28% involve children playing with the gun, and an additional 17% occurred while individuals believed the gun was not loaded.
A lot of fucking gun education would go a long way to avoid a lot of these deaths, too.
Yeah, but unfortunately, then you have someone like this who a lot of people take gun and hunter education and gun education, and they just don't listen. They don't care. They don't think it applies to them. Nothing bad will ever happen to them.
Well, you get too comfortable with a tool. Eventually, you will harm yourself with that tool. You need to respect what that tool can do to you damage-wise.
Yeah, and that tool's only purpose. Unlike a lot of things, knives, which we can use to cut food or cut things, or other things that have purposes, the only purpose of a gun is to kill.
Or destroy, yeah.
Or destroy. There's no purpose other than to have that. So no one should be all that comfortable around it. I just don't think. In Georgia, a man was accidentally shot by a toddler under the age of 2 after the child found a loaded handgun in the house. According to police, the toddler shot off a single bullet from the gun that was fatal to Dustin Waller's 25. When Savannah police responded to the scene on December 5th, they discovered Walters with a gunshot wound. Walter died shortly after being transferred to the hospital.
That's insane. A fucking baby basically shot him.
Yeah. And then they go on to, how people want to say you want to make sure firearms are secured and not accessible by children, as in teach them or treat them as the life-taking devices they are, instead of look at how fucking cool this gun is and, stop using it as a source to make up for what you're lacking in your fucking pants. Dick face.
Not sure you got a wide section of gun ownership there that you covered. So, I just want to stress that I'm not anti-gun. I'm just anti-asshole. And
I'm not anti-gun either.
Yeah.
So I'm clearly talking about the assholes.
Right.
Because there are plenty of gun owners who treat that gun for what it is. And they keep it locked up, and they don't keep it usually loaded. Or if they do keep a handgun loaded for protection, it's typically in a locked safe that they can unlock and get to it. That's all I'm saying. Those people I'm very fine with. Those aren't people who I think are Ramboing it around their house. Now, people who just keep a fucking loaded gun under a fucking pillow or in their dresser drawer, they're fucking dumbasses.
Right. If it's easily accessible to a child, yes, they're going to find it. Yes, they're going to fuck with it. Yes, someone's going to get hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that in any way, shape, or form, but, blah, 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 my rights or whatever. But
yeah,
it comes down to someone gets too comfortable around something that is designed to be a weapon.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like a bow and arrow is designed specifically for being a weapon. Whether it's to hunt or to protect yourself, it is a weapon. It's the same thing. It's that kind of tool. And
it is,
you need to respect it as such.
I completely agree. Yeah.
Every time I've cut myself badly with one of my knives, it's because I was fucking around with it in a way that I knew I shouldn't have.
Yeah, and it all depends on the knife too, because a lot of your knives are not your variety of knives that you could use for food.
No, like anytime I've ever hurt myself with one of my switchblades is because I was fucking around and being an idiot.
Yeah, I get that.
That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Which it does not happen very often. I've cut myself once and it wasn't even that badly fucking around with a switchblade, and I never did it again. I never fucked around with them in a way where I was gonna hurt myself with them again.
Don't fuck up.
Well, and in my younger days I juggled knives a little bit, where I would spin them around, not juggle 3 at once, or I would just spin one and then catch it.
You'd almost use the knife as a fidget spinner.
Yeah, I did. I played with knives, like butterfly knives and everything, because they were like a fidget spinner before I even knew what that was. But that's what it was for me, was playing with these kinds of knives and these automatic knives.
Something to do to keep your,
interest.
Your hands.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I don't do that shit anymore, but I used to do that, where I would throw the knife in the air and then try and catch it by the handle. But I used a $1 knife, so the only thing I had to worry about was getting the point stuck into me, which did happen frequently. And every time I've ever stuck myself with a knife, it was when I was playing playing with that knife like that, you know? That kind of shit, you know? And it's the same thing, like if I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to gouge myself with this screwdriver, that usually goes through my head right before I actually do, because I know what I'm doing is stupid, and then boom, I gouge myself with a screwdriver. Or I hit myself in the thumb with
myself.
You know, you're like, oh, this is going to be dumb. I'm going to hit my hand with this hammer, and boom, you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
But the thing is, you need to understand and respect the weaponry and or tool that you're using, and then you won't hurt yourself. You just need to be careful and cautious of it, and mindful of the fact that this thing is designed to destroy things much stronger than you.
This is true. All of this is true. You're very right.
Yeah, we only hit like an hour and 9 minutes, so maybe we should do another story.
Motherfucker. All right.
Maybe something happier if that even exists anymore.
Yeah, I'm going to try to find some. This one's from Robert. Our man Robert out in the field.
Our man in the field, Robert.
Yep. BBC News. Squirrel injures 18 people in 2 days of attacks in Buckley.
Holy shit, that's like fucking secret squirrel shit right there.
Yeah, that's like a ninja squirrel. A gray squirrel,
trademark.
Which is trademark, patent pending, copyright. A gray squirrel, which attacked and injured 18 people, has been captured and put down. God damn it, dude.
Let's just focus on the life that he led of violence, and we'll go from there.
And why do they have to say what color the squirrel was? What's up with that, racist BBC people?
Weird you went there first.
I'm just saying, it's fucked up. Anyway, the animal earned itself the nickname Stripe after the vicious character in the film Gremlins. It started attacking people in Buckley, Flintshire last week over a 2-day period. This was much to the distress of Corrine Reynolds, 65, who had fed it since March and said it was a frequent and friendly visitor to her garden. Stripe initially came to steal bird food, and Miss Reynolds said all those months he's been fine. He would even come and take a nut out of my hand.
Phrasing?
But she's... Yeah, phrasing. Are we not doing phrasing anymore? But she said he bit her last week, and as she fed him in her garden, and then but she said he bit her last week as she fed him in her garden, and then she saw reports of other bites and attacks on the town Facebook page.
Wonder if he got rabies or some shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. She added, after I saw those pictures of people's injuries, I thought, oh my goodness, what has happened to him? Mrs. Reynolds said she knew something had to be done and thought, because I knew him, I knew I was likely to catch him. She stated she only left a trap near the area she normally fed him for about 20 minutes and he was in. She was sad. She felt like he did trust her and that she betrayed him. Jesus Christ.
No good stories anymore.
No, it's all over, man. Mrs. Reynolds often takes in injured birds, such as seagulls or corvids, until they can be released, describing herself as an animal lover. She said, my garden is like a bird sanctuary, but I know I did the right thing. I have a 2-year-old grandson, and if he'd been bitten on the finger, he could have lost it. A woman who lives in the same area reported being attacked as she was taking in her recycling boxes. Another recounted on social media how she had to have a tetanus jab after being bitten by Stripe. The RSPCA took Stripe in following his capture by Mrs. Reynolds, and after examination, he was euthanized by a vet. The spokesman said, we are incredibly sad to have put the squirrel to sleep, but we're left with no choice due to changes in legislation in 2019, making it illegal to release gray squirrels back into the wild. We do not agree with this law and oppose it, but legally we have to comply. There are numerous ways to humanely deter gray squirrels, and we would urge people not to trap them, and it is now illegal to release them into the wild, and the only option is to put them to sleep. I used to call him, Miss Reynolds stated that she used to call him Little Buddy every time she saw him in the garden, but after it started happening, that's when I changed it to Stripe. I feel that sad that the squirrel lost his life, but there was nothing else I could do, and the damage he caused was unbelievable. So, fuck, man. Squirrels are just fucking, man, they get crazy.
Yeah, we got some fucking insane gray squirrels here in America.
Yeah, but I gotta be gray squirrels.
Because the other kinds of squirrels really are protected and you can't touch them.
That's true. That's actually very true. Gray squirrels are just left to their own devices, I guess.
Yeah, I don't understand it either, but they're the ones that are like, it's okay to deal with.
They must just be the assholes of the animal kingdom. They're like, I love being a dick.
Clip.
Fucking clip.
That should make everybody at least somewhat happy enough to make it through yet another week of this horse shit, because next week's reviews are going to be better, I'm sure.
Yes, next week's reviews, I'm sure, I don't know what's coming up next week, but it's got to be better than what we've been doing for the last month.
Yeah, and we will never have a Fragasso February, so you'll be happy about that.
Thank you, Lord.
You're welcome. Here's our ending Legion promo.
Motherfucker.
If you enjoyed this show, then make sure you check out the other great shows on the Legion Podcast Network, like Cinema Psyops, Cinema Beef, Devour the Podcast, Duncan and Bo Come Correct, Exploding Heads Horror Movie Podcast, Friday the 13th, Get Slayed, The Helming Power Hour, Hello, This is the Doom Show, Hero Go Show, Kill the Cast, Underwater Kaiju from Outer Space, Jerry Hates Action, Legion After Dark, Mental Health, Obsessive Cinema, Discourse, Pick Six Movies, the podcast by The Cemetery, the podcast on Haunted Hill, the Psychosemantic Podcast, Rick Radio, House of Wax, Dude Looks Like the 80s, Rabbit and Red Radio, the Shadecast, Short Bus Cinema, Two Drink Minimum Commentaries, the VD Clinic, Who Will Survive Horror Podcast, and Witch vs. the Doomsday Clock. With such a wide spread of shows, there is guaranteed to be a niche for you to fall in love with. Horror, politics, movies, books, sex, music, commentaries, health, video games, kaiju, action, news, comedy, and opinions that would most likely get you killed in some parts of the world. We are proud to bring you some of the best podcasting in the world. Check us out at www.legionpodcast.com, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, and any other dark corner of the internet where podcasts can be found.
UK subs with After the War, following the war protest song Promise once again.
Some good music today. Good music.
We're going to close it out with some Bad Religion, and everybody will get to hear it that's on the Pirate Radio edit, and then the folks that aren't on the Pirate Radio edit, you're going to hear whatever stuff that I was able to get.
Circus fucking music shit.
It's royalty-free music that I was able to get my hands on that you'll be hearing there. Just because you're a clown doesn't mean we're going to play circus music, man.
Oh, you motherfucker.
If you'd like to find other instances where I've had witty banter with Matt, first of all, they don't exist. But if they did, you could find them at our landing and or launching page, legionspodcast.com/cinema-psyops-podcast.
Hey. Some of these have been witty. Sometimes it's witty.
We offer pablum. Sometimes it's witty humor. Sometimes it's not at all.
Sometimes that pablum's great. Most of the time that pablum sucks ass, but you listen to it anyway.
We also offer memes much along the same lines of sometimes they're awesome and sometimes they suck ass on our Instagram, cinema_psyops.
Jesus Christ.
Those memes of varying quality are shared thrice daily, first to the Instagram, then next to my Twitter feed of @Cort_psyop, which I am only there to share those memes to, and then immediately follow some porn bots after I make sure they go through. And then I jump right back on over to Facebook and our Cinema Psyops group, where it gets shared, as well as my main page of Cort Psyops. All the memes all the time end up at those locations.
All memes all the time. The highest of quality of the memes.
And so far, the Facebook group is still the place where a lot of discussions with the show, and it's really active, which is weird. For a Facebook group to still be active like ours is in this day and age is really kind of cool.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's a ghost town everywhere else, but like our group is still kicking. It's fun.
Yeah, good thing too. Trying to listen to all of us get zucked.
Yeah, and other catchphrases that just make the show move along like they're supposed to.
Yeah, right? No shit.
Well, the quickest way for us to end this show is for me to remind you that you can Email feedback to Cort, cinemapsyopscort at gmail.com, and remind him how the show format used to be back when he gave a fuck 345 episodes ago.
Wait. Are you saying they only give a fuck at the very beginning?
I don't even know if I gave fuck back then.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to start giving a fuck again, start with the next show. But when it's the end of the month for a Mattei month, I'm done by the end of it. I just don't fucking care.
Well, while you're out there also not fucking caring about what's coming next, no matter what, at least it's not Mattei, kick the fuck out of this weekend, make it your bitch.
So,
hey, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
You hear this?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
All right, start recording on your side.
Oh, yeah, I should probably do that now.
I am recording. 1, 2, 3.
Blue snowball selected and the waveform. Yep. Like, you're sure?
All that good shit.
You're positive? Everything good?
Positive.
Okay. Well, yeah, let's just go ahead and start the fucking show. This is the last March Mattei.
At least there's some more story to talk about this time around, but, I mean, a lot of filler that could have probably done without, but yeah.
Filler is to be expected. Mattei is all filler and no driller.
That really is. It's like mostly circus animal. It's some circus animal, mostly filler.
Our hero's name is Bob Ross, yet he does not paint us a single thing.
No, I don't get any happy bushes. I don't get an accidental cloud.
How much better would this movie be if it actually is Bob Ross? Like, he's painting shit, and then he stops to kick ass, and then he goes back to painting shit.
I didn't get a happy little stream. I didn't get that.
Or a quiet little brook. Or is it a babbling brook? It might be a babbling brook.
A babbling brook. You know how fucking relaxing that would be?
Yeah.
Choppers start to appear above that small village. Hold on, let me make sure I'm in the right. Yeah, okay.
For like the longest time, the cure of my insomnia was watching Birdemic because my brain hated it so much it just put me out so I didn't have to deal with it. True story.
That's not a bad idea. I mean, it's better than, people nowadays who, watch Dateline murder mysteries to go to sleep, and you're wondering how the fuck.
Hey, people like to listen to murder podcasts before they go to sleep. It relaxes them.
I know. I'm well aware that this happens.
I'm just stating a fact in a neutral term because I don't understand that either, but hey, that's them.
Of course. Whew. Hold on. Let me loosen up here. For a Mattei month, I'm done by the end of it. I just don't fucking care.
Well, while you're out there also not fucking caring about what's coming next, no matter what, at least it's not Mattei, kick the fuck out of this weekend, make it your bitch. Okay, we're out.
There we go. All right, I'm done recording. Fucking Mattei.
What I love best about this is the fact that you're so fucking flustered at the end of it. You're literally just like trying to be like, just end the show, without actually saying, just end the show.
Just end the fucking show.